Danny Spiegel makes it through along with Annika Greer, Manon Anganese, Annie Thorisdottir as well. And then the final name will be maybe Alexis Raptis. So the appeal pays off for Alexis Raptis as she gets another run to put up a time, and it's good enough to get her inside the top 10. So 10 athletes remain, 2 heats of 5 before we take the fastest 5 times here. They will face off before that head-to-head matchup for the event win. Raptis, Thorisdottir, Anganese, Greer, and Spiegel in the first heat. Barnhart, Turner, Saunders, Horvath, and Brandon.
The table's set. Here we go.
We are waiting the first 5 athletes to make their way out to the field. It looks like they're going to give some of the athletes in round 2 some time to warm up. So Brandon, Turner, Saunders, and Barnhart are all in the warm-up area right now, just getting in some reps to try and stay loose, as they are wrangling up the 5 athletes who will be in heat number 1.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, this is a challenging portion of this for these athletes. It's one thing to be in the safety of your own affiliate, where you train day to day, to be able to warm up and then just go attack a workout full speed. Hey, no big deal. But to be staged after a thorough warm up and have to stand still for 5 to 10 to sometimes longer than that, because of course we have unexpected things happen, and then have to step onto the field and go full speed and do it accurately with urgency, can be a challenge in itself. So much of this competition is how athletes can respond to adversity in the moment. And of course, unpredictability is a part of that.
Cara Saunders getting some reps in on the Cyclone bag. Ellie Turner was out there messing with that thing a little bit as well. They're still waiting on the first 5 athletes to make their way out, and there they are. Alexis Raptis, Manon Anganese, Danny Spiegel, Annika Greer, and Annie Thorisdottir. Two minutes away from starting the first of 2 heats in round 3. Top 5 scores moving on. We saw Annika Greer talking with Annie Thorisdottir. Annie Thorisdottir debuted at the CrossFit Games in 2009. Annika Greer was 6.
Wow. Dates us a little bit. But I will also say Annie was extremely young when she came onto the scene too. So,
and you just listen to some of the records and achievements that Annie Thorisdottir has in her career. As you look at Alexis Raptis, who had that successful appeal. Annie is second all-time in event wins at the CrossFit Games with 14. She's one of 9 individuals who has competed in 9 regionals as an individual. Annie Thorisdottir has won 5 regionals. She's tied with Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet in that category. And Annie was also a member of Team Europe's invitational team 3 times. Annie Thorisdottir, Annika Greer, Danny Spiegel, Manon Anganese, and Alexis Raptis on the field here. And we are set for the opening heat of round 3.
who can be first up the rope?
Annie Thorisdottir looking good, like she has a slight lead on Alexis Raptis at the other end of the field. The two of them make the touch at the same time, followed closely by Manon Anganese.
And Annie needed that time hurt.
Raptis is first.
Her squat rate's a little slower than some of these other girls.
Keep an eye on Annika Greer.
She opened with a no rep, still cruising.
Greer, the second woman in from Thorisdottir. Barbell is down along with Alexis Raptis. Here come Thorisdottir and Anganese. Danny Spiegel in fifth. Alexis Raptis is just ahead of Annika Greer. Here comes Manon Anganese. Raptis is in first, and it's going to be close for second.
Photo finish.
We will have to wait for the official results, but Alexis Raptis takes the heat, and there were a handful of women right behind her vying for second place. Top 5 times will move on to round 4.
Ways to seize the opportunity there from Alexis.
Raptis and Thorisdottir, the first 2 women done with the rope climb. Annika Greer put some pressure on Alexis Raptis in the overhead squats, but a clean run on the cyclone bag for Alexis Raptis. You mentioned transitions in your keys. She certainly made fast time between the barbell and the cyclone bag, and it pays off for Alexis Raptis, looking to move into the 4th round.
Yeah, you wonder, did that extra run prime her and get her a little bit ready for her opportunity there in that particular heat?
One heat remains here in round 3. Those athletes are ready to take the field. Barnhart, Saunders, and Brandon right there at the top of the steps, followed by Laura Horvath and Ellie Turner. Horvath, your overall leader coming into this event. She's won the last 3 events, the first time that has happened at the Rogue Invitational.
And we can't not mention who we don't see. Gabby Magala out there climbing this rope and having an opportunity. And we know it seems that historically, rope climbs aren't a strong suit of hers. So you wonder, was that something looming on her mind leading into this event? Was there urgency? Was there even more self-created pressure? Like, oh, I've got to get up this rope quickly.
It's important for Laura Horvath to amass some points here at this juncture of the competition, because there are deficit parallel handstand push-ups that are looming, and that has been a notable weakness of hers in the past. And the good news for her right now is that the only woman who is within striking distance of her right now is Annie Thorisdottir. And Thorisdottir was 30 points back to start this event. So if Laura Horvath can get herself at least into the final round here, she'll have a really good chance to widen that lead.
Yeah, and she's got a lot of self-awareness. I believe that she understands throughout these 10 events where she's going to be able to make points, create opportunities for herself, and she knows that event is looming. So I think that even puts more of an emphasis on this run that we see her on, this hot streak of victories, and potentially us even watching her 4th in a row here.
Horvath had one of the best times in the last round, 37.78 seconds, in winning her heat. Danielle Brandon was close to that.
Both of these ladies, Danielle and Laura, both get up that rope extremely quickly, and I can't wait to see whose style shows to be more fruitful here. As we know, Danielle Brandon tends to have the short kips with bent knees on the way up, and Laura Horvath tends to keep her legs a little longer and move them from side to side almost like scissors.
You've been out there on the competition floor when you have to sit and wait and the anticipation builds. What's going through your mind when all you have to do is just stare down the competition floor?
A lot of things, right? First and foremost, I'm really trying to keep myself as calm as possible. We already get so excited. The adrenaline is pumping through your veins, and what you can't do is get too emotionally involved too soon because you're just building fatigue. So you have those moments where it's, deep breath, woosah, calm down, here we go. It's not time yet. And then once they start to count down within a minute, it's time for you to get focused and get serious.
We are set for the second and final heat of round 3. Danielle Brandon is in the lead, makes the touch first. Laura Horvath right behind her along with Cara Saunders. Brandon to the barbell first, gets a rep in ahead of Laura Horvath.
Yeah, Danielle did a great job even adjusting her feet in the middle of a rep without costing herself time there.
Cara Saunders is in 3rd place right now, and barbell down at exactly the same time for Horvath, and Brandon is going to come down to the bag. Horvath gets it up first. He has about a step lead on Brandon. Brandon trying to make up that distance, but it's going to be Laura Horvath, Danielle Brandon, and then Cara Saunders. Here comes Ellie Turner, and then Amanda Barnhart is through.
What a race. These ladies, step for step, the whole entire way, almost dropped that barbell and sink.
Laura Horvath shaves more than a second off her time from the last round. It's likely the top 3 here in this heat will all be moving on, but we have to, again, see what happened with heat number 1 and those official scores. But Laura Horvath going to move on. It's Brandon who was able to win the race on the rope, but Laura Horvath makes up the ground on the overhead squats.
Yeah, she made up the ground. She got to the barbell, executed very cleanly. They dropped the bar at the same time, and then all of a sudden, Laura's ability to get that bag to her lap and to her belly quicker gave her a 2-step advantage on Danielle, and it paid off.
If Laura Horvath advances into the final round and Annie Thorsdottir does not, Laura Horvath is going to have